Is this a national championship or bust year for the Georgia Bulldogs heading into the 2021 season? This is a football team that has a lot of opportunities, and I mean a lot of opportunities for this program to finally break that 1980 curse of winning a national title. You're talking about a team that has all the tools, and I'm talking about all the tools. No, Jake Fromm is not there. No, even the great Stetson Bennett is most likely not going to be your starting quarterback. It is going to be JT Daniels after he came in for Stetson Bennett, and he actually played extremely well under Todd Monken's offense. And Todd Monken is known as one of the best offensive innovators in all of college football, especially when he was with Oklahoma State with, of course, Justin Blackman and Brandon Weeden. For anybody that knows who those guys are, those guys were legendary players under that Todd Monken system. However, just like how I kind of said in the past, talking about the Georgia Bulldogs, Kirby Smart has in a way gotten in Georgia's way from winning a national title. Kirby Smart, whether if it's game management, whether if it's just decision making off the field, whether Justin Fields leaving, and of course Stetson Bennett becoming your starting quarterback, and the game management issues against Alabama in the most important and critical games, such as the national title game and the SEC championship game. It's just and there's more to it. It's like Kirby Smart in a way has gotten in Georgia's own path. You can tell right away that Todd Monken did not. He pretty much surrounded his game plan, around the old classic Georgia motto of just pro style, underneath a lot of play action, play physical defense, and run the football. Todd Monken is a spread you out. He's a spread guy. He's a guy that runs a bunch of 11 personnel, 11, some 12 personnel, loves to run a lot of trips. But he's a guy that, for the most part, he gives defenses fits because of his concepts, not because of those old pro style concepts. That's just not going to work nowadays in all of college football. So, JT Daniels fits the mold. Now, he's not the most mobile guy. He's not Justin Fields, but he fits the mold of what Todd Monken wants to do. And this year, you have that. You lose George Pickens, but Arian Smith is there as far as speed, a guy that you can line up in the slot or out wide. Again, that vertical threat, that vertical speed is there. Jermaine Burton is a phenomenal presence in the slot or out wide. Kyrus Jackson dominated in the slot for Georgia last year. Dominique Blaylock, remember his true freshman year, had a phenomenal freshman year, and of course sophomore campaign ended because of an injury. But Dominique Blaylock is a guy that's more, he's more of a slot guy that can do very, very well there. And then, of course, you got Darnell Washington, who bloomed really, really late. But at 6'7", 280 pounds, he shows you why he was considered a five-star athlete. Now you get transfers in Eric Gilbert, a guy that is a Kyle Pitts type of tight end, a guy that, for the most part, he's not an in-the-line tight end. He's a guy that you can line outside the hashes or maybe inside the hashes in the slot, and it can dominate and it can be a mismatch against slot defenders, against linebackers, against other safeties, other safeties such as in-the-box safeties that can also be matched up in those coverages as well. So getting a guy like Eric Gilbert, pairing up with Darnell Washington and with the other vertical threats that I just named, including guys like Marcus Rosemay, who we've heard has gotten a lot of praise, Georgia's offense should be key. Not to mention the running game with Kendall Milton, who we've been hearing that he's been the best running back out of all of them. Zamir White, James Cook, what he can do in the slot, what he can do as a receiving back. And then Kenny McIntosh with 4 out of the 5 starters off your offensive line, which we all know Georgia produces those 4 and 5-star offensive linemen and send them into the NFL almost every single year. So offensively, it has something. It has something that we haven't seen in previous years. It has that element of the fact that this offense could be very dangerous. It could be very, very explosive. Most importantly, it can be a high-scoring offense. And if you notice the Alabamas, the Clemsons, the Ohio States of the world, some of the most elite teams in all of college football, it's no longer focusing and revolving around the defense. It's now revolving around the offense. It's now making the offense elite. It's now making the offense as dangerous as possible. That's the way of the game. And for years, it's just been that under the center, having a game-managing quarterback with not that much to offer, doesn't have a strong arm, not the most mobile guy in the world, hand the ball off, and then of course play physical defense. That's not going to win you national titles. But Kirby Smart, and I will give him credit for this, he has found a way to be innovative. He has found a way to finally try to innovate this, to pretty much innovate this offense, giving the keys to Todd Monken, letting him ride the ship, letting him get his quarterback in there, and Todd Monken can finally let loose his offensive playbook and his offensive schematics with this team with the right personnel finally on abroad. Now, of course, with the defensive side of the ball, are they going to be as good as they were last year? Probably not. This is a team that's probably not going to be as good as they were last year, because you're losing two guys, you're losing two outside corners that ended up being top 50 overall picks. You also lose Richard LeCounte. Monty Rice is a big loss. So the secondary is going to be a little but for the most part, your front seven is going to be great. Even with Monty Rice gone, Nakobe Dean's still there. You got other talent, those linebacking positions, such as Quay Walker, who can easily slip in there, can fit. Your defensive line is strong with Devontae Wyatt and Jordan and Big Davis. Nolan Smith, as they hopefully can spring in and become that 5-star defensive end like we thought he could be. Georgia's loaded. Let's be honest here, guys. They're loaded on both sides of the coin, on both sides of the ball, including special teams. Don't know too much about special teams, but I do know, again, this is the team that's loaded. So the point is, guys, is that even with all the stuff that I said, even with all that positivity, they have to win. They have to contend for a national championship this year, guys. There is no excuse this year if Georgia doesn't win a national title. You have everything. You have the offensive personnel. You have the defensive personnel. Yes, you lose George Pickens. We understand that. You lose George Pickens. That's a big loss. But you still have the personnel in place to even kind of forget about him, right? You still have those guys in place. There's no excuse this year. You got the quarterback. You have the offensive line, the ground game, the defense. Everything is in place for the Georgia Bulldogs to win the national championship. Now, you play Clemson. That's the first game of your schedule. We understand that. That's the first game. However, you don't have a difficult SEC schedule. You don't play LSU. Really, that's the big one. You don't play LSU and you don't play Alabama. Maybe later on the line, you play one of those teams in the SEC championship game. But for the most part, the Georgia Bulldogs are going to be the favorites. They should be the favorites to not only win the SEC East and crush everybody in their path, but to potentially win the SEC title game and contend for the national title. A&M is not there. LSU's not there. Bama's not there. There's no excuse for Georgia not to contend for a national title. So the expectation shouldn't be competing for an all-state Sugar Bowl game or competing for any of these other New Year's Six Bowl games that has nothing to do with the college football playoff. The expectation should be get to the college football playoffs and let's contend for this national title, because it's 1980, it's too long, and we all know it's a meme. It's a meme throughout the college football community that we love to kind of joke on when it comes to Georgia. But you look at all that recruiting talent, and then even the transfer portal guys like Tyreek Smith and Darion Kendrick that can go at that Darion Kendrick with Eric Gilbert. There's just all that damn talent with the coaching personnel in place. This is truly a national championship or bust year, in my opinion, for the Georgia Bulldogs. But Georgia fans, let me know how you guys feel about it, or any other college football fans. Let me know how you guys feel about this particular subject. But if you guys like this video, make sure to like the video, share the video, and also to subscribe. Definitely helps me out with the YouTube algorithm, and definitely more content, more college football content on the way. But anyway, guys, Jan Sports, aka Jan716, and I will catch you guys in a little bit. Peace.